Welcome back to another episode of the STGeek Podcast with myself, AJ, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts,
Peter,
John.
And today we are going to be talking about our most anticipated movies from 2019, But before we get into that, of course, we do have some news stories we want to go over. The boys brought some. So, Peter, what was the first one you wanted to talk about?
So first off, a little bit of sad news. An actor from Curb Your Enthusiasm, best known for Curb Your Enthusiasm, Bob Einstein, has passed away at the age of 76.
Damn.
Have any of you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No.
Only a couple episodes here and there. I've heard it's legendary.
It's really good.
And the humor,
and he's good in it.
The humor in it was fun that I watched. I just have never taken the time to really watch it.
Was this a HBO series?
Yes. It's been an HBO series for like 15 years, and
So one of the originals.
I think I guess so.
He
I guess you
went
could say
away
that.
for quite a while and then came back.
He goes
didn't
on
it?
hiatus for a number of years. Sometimes
Larry
it's not
David?
year to yes, Larry David, the main.
Wow.
So he'll just, which is good because the quality of the show stays the same. He's not being forced to just put one out the following year. He'll just do it when he feels like he has something good. And every single season is great, and every episode I think is great as well.
Do you think you can compare it to any other comedy?
Seinfeld.
sitcom? Oh, really?
I mean, Larry David was Jerry Seinfeld's co-writer, and Jerry Seinfeld even makes an appearance in a lot of ways. It's Larry David playing himself, and the character of George Costanza was actually based on Larry David. So it's
Really?
basically a George Costanza solo series.
That's pretty
you
cool.
a fan of Seinfeld, Peter?
You know what? It's a series I've completely missed out on. I've been meaning to go back and watch it since everybody claims that it's one of the best
It's
sitcoms of
pretty
all
good.
time.
Have you seen like any episodes here or there?
When I was younger, I've seen some, but I had no interest in it. I've seen clips of it now, and it's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I've
So
seen a good
I'll have to
majority
go
of
back.
Yeah, when I was younger in high school, I would go to bed, and it was usually on pretty late at night, and so that's where I'd catch my episodes, like
10
the
o'clock
Showerhead
on
episode.
Channel 13.
There you go, exactly.
After that was
Back in the day.
Frasier.
Yes.
I think it would come on after The Simpsons, and that's when I changed channel. I'd watch The
At that
Simpsons,
point.
and I'd be like, "This isn't a cartoon."
I gotcha. That's fair enough. Well, gotcha. Well, that is pretty sad passing, but 76, pretty good amount of years.
Yeah, he's
obviously.
good. He's good in it too. He's really funny. He plays everybody except Larry David is kind of a grounded character in a lot of ways. They're very like real,
Sure.
ish, I guess. He sometimes plays something of a lovable buffoon type of character,
Gotcha.
but not so far into the buffoon category. He just he's well intentioned, but maybe he does a few things that aren't quite the best thing to do.
Okay.
But he's great. I'm sad to see him go.
That is too bad. All right.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Now, moving on. John, what was one story that you wanted to bring up today?
Netflix had announced that they're gonna redo the Avatar Last Airbender live action. So I'm pretty excited about that because I was a big fan of the cartoon series. I don't know if you guys actually watched it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I never watched all three books, but it was
You're a
very
terrible
exciting to
person.
watch.
Peter, you terrible?
I saw some episodes.
Did you never get into it, or
Not really.
Wow. Okay. Did we watch the live action one together? The
Yes.
M. Night Shyamalan one?
Yes, and it was horrible.
Terrible.
Was not that great.
Having seen hardly anything of the show, hardly any of the show, that movie sucked. It was so bad.
It was
boring.
not true to the source material very much. I mean, there were different nations. They got that part right. There are different kinds of benders. They got that okay. But the pronunciation of the main character, how do you miss that? Like,
How did they
Ong. But in the
I
show, it's pronounced Aang. Now, maybe they were trying to be even more, I guess, ethnically correct in the pronunciation.
Yeah.
I suppose that could be the case because he
That
is
seemed
based
to
off
be-
like a monk character, right?
That seemed to be a pretty big push that M. Night Shyamalan was going for.
Yeah.
Because having hired a bunch of a lot of Indian actors.
Yeah, to play from the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Which is
kind of
authentic, which I think is more because they're not all just a bunch of white people in the show, right?
no,
Yeah.
exactly not. They're all sorts of different races and such like that. So that was nice to see that. They're from a different nation. They have different nationality or ethnic backgrounds.
Which
to
I
them.
think was very well intentioned.
Yeah.
But in the aspect of the character's name, like it's not like it's in a book where you can. It was like a Hermione situation
where it's up to interpretation.
Yeah, where people were like, I don't know how to pronounce this, so I'm just going to do it my own way. And,
Right.
Until the movie came out, and they're
Hermione.
just like, oh, that's how it's pronounced. Like, we already know exactly how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
So
How do you get that wrong?
it's very weird.
Right? Unless he really wanted to put like a staple, like, no, this is going to be the way people pronounce it from now on. Like, no one liked your movie. It's,
Right.
yeah, M. Night Shyamalan. That was a hard miss for him, but I think he has potential to pull out something in the future. I mean, we do have Glass coming up soon,
Yeah, and then he also
so I'm
did,
excited for that.
He did Devil.
Devil
which
was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was
I
all right.
think he did one other one.
He's
after.
been slowly making a comeback.
Yeah.
His movie, a lot of his movies were duds for a while.
Yeah, they were.
The Happening, actually, being very similar to Bird Box in a lot of ways.
Oh, I thought you were going to
was
give The Happening credit.
Oh God, no! I would never do such a thing. How dare you?
That was another movie we saw together.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie was awful.
was
Mark
so
Wahlberg
bad.
and Zoe Deschanel, I believe, was in those
Was
movies.
she in that? I don't remember. I just remember
Yeah.
Marky being in there.
Yeah,
I don't remember
it
Zoe
was
Deschanel
awful.
being in it.
That movie, yeah.
It happened. That's all I
It
can say
happened.
about
It's
it.
a thing.
All
It's,
right.
it's a movie.
But
It has
no-
a middle, beginning, and an end.
Yeah.
All of
Knowing-
which are not
It's a
worth
thing.
seeing.
Knowing that Netflix is doing this, hoping for the better.
Yeah. Let's all hope
it's
for the
Netflix? I
better.
didn't hear that part.
Yeah, it's going to be a Netflix series.
Yes.
Netflix
Full on
also-
series, not a movie, right?
No, it's a series.
That's good. Now they actually have time to flesh out all the characters so you can actually get to know them and appreciate them as people rather than trying to cram a whole season into one book
Here's
or
the
one movie,
odd
that is.
thing about Netflix.
Yes.
Especially right now. They're very much hit or miss. They're very much like M. Night Shyamalan's track record. Some of the stuff they put on are great, and some of them are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
So
I can agree
just
with
because
that.
it's on like Netflix isn't like it used to be before when it first started making
Everything
original
coming out,
content where
yeah.
everything was incredible. We're at the point where a lot of their original shows, if I remember correctly, were strictly intended for Netflix. Like they were made for Netflix, and
Yes.
what they do now a lot of the time is they actually just they pick up shows and movies
Yes.
that other networks don't want to pick up or production companies want to pay for, or whatever
Sure,
the case, and they just kind of slap it on it. So Netflix, in a lot of ways, is just a dumping ground for stuff that didn't really make it, but then it's also a dumping ground for some really good shit that
Diamond
just
in
kind of
the
slipped
rough.
through the cracks.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I mean, like you could tell a lot of the movies that are on there, at least in my opinion, the original Netflix movies are more so like B tier territory nowadays. And just in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I feel like anything that's originally for Netflix, it's not that great anymore. I just feel like now they're trying to just throw money at everything and try to draw in their audience more. And I feel like it's kind of a miss for them personally. I don't know. I mean, there are the occasional hits, like for instance, what was the Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson movie that came out?
Annihilation?
Annihilation. That was a movie that
been
was
meaning to see
partially in Netflix and partially in theaters. I happened to see it in theaters,
Yes,
and I
so did
liked
I.
it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a
think
good movie.
In America, it was released in theaters, but
Yes.
in a lot of other countries, it was straight to Netflix.
Sure, and I can see why. There was a little bit of a budget to it, but ultimately it was a good standard movie, I thought. It was worth a watch. But then you get other shows like I don't know, some of the Marvel shows that have come out, and they're kind of sub-tier, I would say. Like, for instance,
Yeah.
Iron Fist Season 1 and 2. I mean, I'm sure Season 2 probably had a little bit of a recovery. Is that correct, Peter?
I still haven't seen it.
Oh, okay,
Honestly,
gotcha.
at this point, I'm like, there's no point in getting invested in these characters because they're dead.
They're gone anyway,
gone.
right?
See that they have a petition to bring back.
That doesn't mean jack shit.
I know it doesn't, but even I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who plays Kingpin is even like pushing to do this petition. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Cool to see. I mean, we'll see if anything comes of it. I doubt it. But, I mean, in the end, they're not the ones with the money.
No, yeah,
And the
petitions
production.
don't do anything. It's just not going to happen.
True that. All right. What was next to talk about, Peter?
Ah, crap.
Come on, Peter.
I was getting too into the Netflix conversation.
It's all good.
Speaking of Netflix, this will be
Yes.
quick.
Okay.
Have you guys heard of the anime? It's a Netflix original called High Score Girl.
No, actually.
I
No.
want to check it out. It looks pretty cool. It's,
Okay.
especially for it looks right up our alley because it's all about fighting games in arcade, specifically about Street Fighter 2.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's
You
about
piqued my interest.
Yeah, it's like some teenage kid, go figure, anime, right? And he meets this girl who in an arcade who's like really good at Street Fighter 2 and is like kicking everybody's ass, and then he's just like, "You're the girl from my class," in classic anime fashion, and
Sure.
then it just kind of goes from there. But it seems interesting, and my interest in fighting games and the Street Fighter series in particular really drew me to this. I just was scrolling through Netflix the other day and I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
Does Capcom have anything to do with this, or is it just?
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, I guess they would have to
Get the okay,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
But I mean, that's all they would need. I would assume.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
They're pretty loose with Street Fighter these days.
I was gonna say you see.
Well, they're just with their brands in general.
True, yeah, I would say so. Another big anime from Netflix, though, originally would be Seven Deadly Sins. I like that they put money towards that show. At least as far as the art goes, it looks really heavy duty, and I've only heard good things about it. I'll admit, though, the art style for me it didn't really draw me in, but hearing all the good buzz about it, even you, John, mentioned it to me like about a year or two ago, saying that you wanted to get into it. Did you ever end up watching it?
I don't believe so.
Seven Deadly Sins?
No.
Okay, you brought it up like briefly one time to me, and that kind of made me want to look into it. And yeah, I only hear good things about it, really. So I'm kind of excited to see that. It's nice to see that Netflix is starting to invest more in anime and such like that. I mean, they have been for quite some time now, but not so much original properties.
Yeah, save your money on the crappy live-action anime adaptations and just make good animes.
Yeah, like traditional, real good anime.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. And why make a movie out of like a 20-something episode anime, if not longer than that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, again, it's the whole thing that we were talking about with Last Airbender. Why are you trying to cram a 3-pound pea in a 2-pound pod, you know? It just doesn't really work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So moving on, what was the other thing you wanted to bring up, John?
Matt Reeves, who is, I believe, the writer and the director of the upcoming Batman movie.
Since Batfleck backed out of both of those things.
I mean, it hasn't been confirmed that he's not Batman anymore. Oh, you're just talking about writing and directing? Yeah, okay. He said that filming may start in November of 2019, and he didn't officially say if it would be Ben Affleck. So,
what is the deal with the DC EU right now, or Worlds of DC as it's officially called? Like, the only for sure movie we're getting are Shazam and Wonder Woman 84 or 80, whatever that one is.
Whatever it's being called. Yeah,
sure we're gonna get an Aquaman.
We were supposed whatever the
Yeah.
Flashpoint movie seems like it's been put on hiatus.
I forgot about that.
The Batman solo movie, which was supposed to be in production, I think like a year ago.
we'll see if that ever comes to
Yeah.
light. I mean, eventually we're going to get another Batman movie. That goes without saying, but is it going to be the same project that was, talked about for so long now?
I mean, they're going to keep making them. If Aquaman's any indication, they're going to keep making them.
Oh, yeah.
Keep
Also,
watching them.
and they're also stubborn. They were making them even when they were bad. They were still making them even when they were bad.
Exactly
They
so.
really want this franchise to succeed because money, obviously.
Right, and it makes sense. I think they have what it takes. I think Aquaman was a good step in the right direction. I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie by any
God,
means.
no. But it was fun.
fun. Yeah, and it shows that DC can still make a lot of money from their movies. I mean, it's still on top of the box office, if I'm not mistaken, like weeks later after releasing. So I think that they're very well enthused in making new movies. I think Shazam's going to do really well. I don't think as well as Aquaman.
I don't think it
the
will
character is not as popular for one. I mean,
Yeah.
and also it
Jason
hasn't had
Momoa.
any chance. Yeah, and Jason Momoa.
It's got no
the star
Jason
power
Momoa
right there.
swooning and walking through steam and,
That's
and
why I
whatnot.
watched Aquaman.
No lie, for sure. But yeah, ultimately, I look forward to seeing what DC can pull out. We actually are going to be talking about at least one new DC movie in the works for our most anticipated movies of 2019. So looking forward to that. We'll get into that in a little bit, though.
Yep.
All right, and then what was the other topic you guys wanted to talk about? I mean, I thought there was at least one more, if not more.
There is. Well, real quick,
Go ahead.
I'll just mention that we don't really have to talk about this because I don't know much about this kind of crap. But apparently Black Panther has been nominated for Best Picture of the Year for the Producers Guild of America. So there's so many goddamn awards.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this is, or I mean,
Do you care?
not really.
Yeah, neither do I.
I mean, if it wins an award, cool. I don't think it deserves it. It's good. Best Picture of the Year?
Yeah, there are way more
Nowhere.
touching stories out there. Like, way more. I mean, again, it had a good message, and all that. That's great. And Killmonger was an amazing villain and all, of course. But is it really worthy of all of that praise? I'm not quite sure.
I don't think
As
so.
far as winning Best Picture.
And that's my favorite movie, 2018, and I don't even think that.
Yeah, when you look at it as a standalone movie, because you would have to do that, I think, if you're gonna go for a Best Picture of the Year, just take the movie for what it is, outside of the expanded universe that it's a part of, and yeah, I think it falls flat as far as being the Best Picture of the Year, specifically in the end. I feel like it ends on a lull. The final CGI, whatever, two cats fighting each other, tumbling
Yeah.
around. It doesn't.
CGI battles?
Yes,
that
it's
final
not very
battle wasn't
good.
quite what I wanted. It was brutal, I guess, but ultimately, I don't like having to see a hero fight a villain that looks just like it. That's just my opinion. It was like we mentioned last episode. It was kind of fell into that classic trope of where it's the same. It's the two characters that look
Villain
exactly the same
fights
fighting
a
each
mirror
other.
version of himself.
Exactly so. And it's just the evil version, I suppose. So yeah, but ultimately, though, good movie. It's exciting to see that Marvel movies can actually get that much, that high of caliber and
They probably
recognition.
didn't they say some? I don't remember if it was for this movie, but wasn't there talk of how Marvel was actually pushing for the best picture of the year of some sort. Was it for this
I believe
movie?
so.
It may, yeah, I think so.
They were really they put a lot of money into it or some crap.
Well, I mean, it made a lot of money. It's their first time. I mean, I don't know about first time, but such an ethnic cast throughout that movie. Like, we haven't really seen anything like that, especially in a superhero movie, to my knowledge, anyway, to my memory. I can't think of anything where there was that many African-American actors in there, which I thought was a really cool step in the right direction.
Well, I think with so much praise, I mean, it's happened before, but this is the first time I think people are really noticing it.
Sure. I mean, it's a very charismatic movie for sure. So
Definitely.
it's kind of a movie for almost everyone, really. I mean, I might not take grandma to see this one, but still, ultimately a good movie.
People don't give Chadwick Boseman enough credit in that movie because I feel like Killmonger and Michael B. Jordan really overshadows him, but Chadwick Boseman does a great job as T'Challa.
Yeah, for sure. He's a great leader in that movie. I agree. It was kind of tragic to see him go down in Infinity War, spoilers, but I mean, hey, still though, it was a cool movie.
That was sad. They kind of fake you out with it a little bit because they make you think that it's going to be the
today.
general.
I think
Yeah,
he said something like that. Yeah,
or this is it's something like that.
Yeah,
and then he just. And then
in the wind.
Yep. All we are is dust in the wind.
I want some Black Panther.
No, damn. That's a strong shit. You don't want none of that.
You'll trip out. You go to the spirit realm or whatever the hell they
Jesus
call
Christ.
it. See all your ancestors and
There you
shit.
go. You about ready to move into most anticipated, or was there anything else you guys wanted to
I
bring
think
up?
that's about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, as per usual, actually, I was going to promote our social media, but before I do, me and the guys, just to tease a little bit, in the coming weeks, we will have this one little video up on YouTube and our social media accounts, STGeekPod. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. We shot something special. I'm not going to say specifically what it was, but if you guys had to put it in few words.
It hurt.
It hurt.
I still feel it.
I still feel it to this morning. My
God, this makes it sound
head
really
hurt
dirty.
so bad.
They're going to be like, oh, God, I can't wait. Is it going to be posted on Pornhub or
It
what?
involved all three of us, too, and it got very messy. Very messy. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. We will be talking about it more.
Kind of burn once they spit out fire.
I think that something
Follow
like
us
that.
on X Video, Pornhub,
Oh, my God.
YouPorn. That's what we'll be posting this video.
Right? We should start our own porn site, but like something like that. I want this to happen. Is that legal? Can we do that, but not actually post porn? Can we do
So
that?
claim it's a porn site.
Yeah. Like it's under the name like STGeek Porn, but then actually just post videos of us being stupid.
That would be
Is
the
that
greatest
possible?
troll of all time.
I
People,
want
you know,
this. If you want
whip it
this, let
with
us
their-
know.
with their dicks out, just being like, "I'm gonna go to STG Porn," and then it's just I don't know us tossing balloons at each other or some shit.
Or doing what we did for last night. With,
Yeah,
oh my
and they're just
God.
like, "Okay, when does the butt sex come into play?"
Right? When do I get the payoff? You never do.
This is some kinky shit, but let's get to it already.
But yeah, be on the lookout for that. We won't say exactly what went down, but you will see soon enough. If you have a clamoring for it, let us know. STGeekPod on Twitter and Instagram. That's where you can send any questions or topics you want to ask us, and we'll shout you out in the following episode as well with any questions or topics that you want us to bring up. But aside from that, we do have our most anticipated movies of 2019. I'd say our number one. We talked about it last week after we ended last week's episode. Endgame is probably the number one movie we're
I
looking
think
forward
it's
to, right?
a lot of people's most
I
anticipated
don't know
movie.
if it's mine.
Oh, really?
I am
Okay.
looking very forward to it. It's my number 2.
We have a lot of good movies on this list that I'm looking forward to as well, but
Yeah, 2019 is going to be an expensive year.
for sure.
I can't remember the last time a year was jam packed with so many heavy hitters.
Most definitely.
Like it's gonna be hard to keep up with all these. My bank account is crying already.
Seriously. I mean, not to say that 2017 and 2018 didn't have great movies in it.
Of course.
But yeah, this is just going to be another heavy-hitting year.
Endgame
for
by
sure.
itself is going to make so much money. Oh my god.
I wonder if it's going to break another record. I mean, it's got to, right?
I was
would
thinking the
hope
other
so.
day
Please.
that the Russo brothers, they have to deliver on this, right? They backed
Oh, yeah.
themselves into a corner.
Yes,
like if
they
this
did.
isn't the best movie ever with the best payoff ever,
Sure.
like people are just gonna rip it to shreds.
Oh, for sure. It's going to, yeah. But I mean, after seeing what they did with Infinity War, I have very little doubt. I'm curious and I'm skeptical as to what they could possibly do to up the ante, but I'm hoping that they pay off well.
All of their MCU movies so far are some of the best. They did
Agreed.
Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and now Endgame.
Right.
So
The
track
They know
record's
what
pretty
they're doing,
strong.
They clearly have what it takes to make a strong movie that everyone cares about, and that's going to affect the overall MCU. I was going to say universe, but it's an acronym. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come of this. Again, who's dying? Who is living? Who's going to come back from the snap, and who isn't? Are we going to get Loki back? I have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, my main problem with Loki is that he didn't die from the snap. He was died by Thanos' bare-ass hands.
Yeah.
So that's makes me wonder. I mean, he's a charismatic character, and there's like the rumored, I don't know if it's confirmed, Disney series that Loki's going to have.
That is confirmed.
That's
Oh, okay, so I guess he does come back, and it's going to be like a prequel series.
But I
Yeah.
don't know. I wouldn't care if it was a prequel, honestly.
Yeah, time will only
Because
tell.
I already know how his arc ends. Like, I don't think... Because most of his growing, like his struggle and all, and his internal struggle happens in the movies. We see that. So
Yeah.
if we do a prequel... I'm not going to give a shit.
Sure. Is there any growth
I
left
already-
to have?
You already grew with
Yeah, what growth is there to do? We already know where you start at the beginning of Thor and where you end. Like, I just wouldn't care.
You start off as a conniving little bastard, and then you die as a conniving little bastard.
Yeah,
but with
pretty
a
much.
slight heart of gold, a
But
tinge.
but you're redeemed a bit.
Yeah, just a little
Yeah.
bit though, just a little
I
bit.
think he's mostly redeemed.
He winks at Thor right before his neck gets crushed. Blech, could not
Yeah.
talk. But yeah, overall, Endgame gonna be pretty awesome. Maybe not everyone's number one, but I think it's gonna break the box office completely. It's gonna be awesome. Next up, though, speaking of the MCU, we do have Captain Marvel coming out soon as well. Thoughts on that, guys?
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah,
Looks cool.
Brie Larson. She looks like she's gonna do a great job. The latest trailer was really cool as well. I love what's going on with that.
I'm
I
not
love
watching any more trailers. I'll see it when it comes out.
The last one I saw was you and I, the three of us talked about it, but this was like a month ago or something like that. When was it like the second official trailer or something like that? When it actually shows her flying through space with the mohawk and all.
Goku.
Yeah, she goes full on Goku
I
on
don't
them.
think we ever talked about it on the podcast.
We did, and we were
did.
going to, and we forgot
Oh,
to.
is that what happened? That's what
Yeah,
happened.
we forgot to bring it up. That was probably my bad.
God, we're so
But
professional.
we're talking about it now, though, and yeah, I think it's going to be a great little entry into the MCU. It's coming out right before Endgame, so we'll see what it sets up and what it doesn't. Will we see her in Endgame? I'm hoping so,
You know you are.
in some heroic manner. I'm hoping. I'm guessing, but we'll see.
There's a lot of different ways they could play it. I think that's what most of my anticipation for this movie comes from, is that there's a lot of things that they could set up. The Skrulls are a part of
Yes.
it, which
They're shape-shifting bastards.
yes. So I'm very interested to see how that plays into the
Secret
MCU
Invasion.
in the long run. Yeah,
man.
Secret Invasion.
Can you imagine Endgame ends with like the into Secret Invasion?
Tony Stark dies, but then he was a Skrull the whole time. Yeah.
Oh my god!
That would explain why he's such a fucking asshole, like I mentioned in the last podcast.
right? That's
where
actually
he
not a bad
pretends
call.
like he's well intentioned, but he's actually just kind of
bastard.
fucking the world up.
Yes, he's got his own ideals in mind that he needs to get taken care of, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe as a Skrull. We'll see, though. We'll see. I'm excited either way. But again, what are the Russo brothers going to choose as their path to go through from Endgame to the future as well in Phase 5 or whatever? Well, time will only tell. We'll see in just a few short months. In 4 months, actually, from now, I guess, technically.
Shit.
3 or 4. Yeah, April right now instead of May.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, moving on. We do have Glass. It's the most recent movie coming out right now that we're actually going to be reviewing for this show.
In 2 weeks, I believe.
2 weeks, yeah. It's going to be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to this. Have you both seen Unbreakable?
Nope.
I
have not.
I saw Unbreakable way back when it came
Like
out.
the
I
90s?
don't- I don't
Yeah.
remember much from it, but I do remember liking it. I remember it was M. Night Shyamalan's follow-up to, not direct sequel, but just his next project after The Sixth Sense, which at the time,
Yeah.
people were losing their shit over.
Groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Um,
And Unbreakable, I don't think made as much of a splash at all. It's more of a cult hit, I would say, of all his
yeah.
movies. But it was definitely one of the early movies that it's still a hit, though. Like, nonetheless, say what you will about how many people noticed the movie, but at the same time, it doesn't take away from its greatness, I
and
would
it's
say.
from what I remember, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
We're
it's a
actually
good
gonna
movie.
review that movie as well as Split next week in anticipation for the Glass movie the following week. So we'll probably
not
be able to
seen
give
Split.
more detail.
Yo, you haven't seen Split either?
One?
Nope.
Oh.
Split is
So
so
this
good.
This is going to be brand new for me.
How are you feeling about Glass, then, just based off the trailers alone?
Oh, I'm excited.
Gotcha.
I was planning on watching it anyway, but
Cool.
It's gonna be nice having some backstory. But
Yes.
I already know the backstory of these characters.
Do you?
That's the thing.
Gotcha. And then the trailers kind of peek at it, like their psychiatrist or therapist, whoever she is, kind of explains who they are and what they're about anyway, slightly in the trailer.
You having not seen Unbreakable or Split, you're put in a very unique situation because this is sort of like a mini Avengers type thing, and
Sure.
Unbreakable and Split are the origin stories
To it?
of these characters.
Oh, I agree. Actually, that's a good observation. I like that.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a new twist on superhero movies in general. Definitely was original for its time. Unbreakable, that is.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Willis was great in that movie. And I would
That
say
was before he started sleepwalking through his roles.
Yeah,
like he does
pretty
a lot these days.
I hope he puts a full effort in for this one. I think he realizes how important it is, and so I'm hoping that he puts forth a good effort. We'll see how that goes. I had one more point I wanted to make on it, and I was just going to say that Unbreakable. One more thing I'll say about that is I watched it early last year in 2018, and it still held up for the most part. Like there are a lot of practical effects in that movie. I can't think of any CGI that they attempted at all to memory, and so it helps it hold up a lot better.
That's the way to do it.
Yes, exactly.
Practical effects enhanced with CGI, but don't solely rely on CGI. Those movies do not hold up.
Agreed. They're going to age out eventually.
And they age out. Technology grows so fast. They age out so quickly.
Speaking of CGI, a movie that is going to look bonkers good this year, but actually, if you go back and watch the first one, characters look a little freaky, and that's from Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 looked amazing, and I thought Toy Story 1 and 2 were breathtaking at the time. Like, it was the first time we got CGI movies, was the first Toy Story. First full CGI
Fully
movie,
rendered,
that is. Yeah,
yes.
fully rendered in CG. Thank you. But Toy Story 4, I don't know what they have left to tell of this story. Like you brought up one time, Peter, quite a few episodes back, you kind of felt like the ending of Toy Story 3 tied everything in a nice bow.
Oh, yeah.
But these are the same lovable characters that the three of us have loved since the early 90s, early mid 90s. So, I mean, when was the first one out? On 94? 95?
Yeah, I wanna say.
Shit, I don't remember.
Something like that? Kind of crazy. Yeah, we're old. We haven't mentioned that enough already. But, John, what are your thoughts on Toy Story 4? What do you think they can do with this to, I guess, shake it up and make it worth watching? Worth making?
I know, at least from what I'm picking up from the trailer, one of the main characters were going to be that craft toy. So I kind of like the twist to that. But what's going to be the main plot? Is it just going to be him trying to accept the fact that he is a toy now and not just
I thought I remembered hearing early on that Bo Peep was going to be involved in the story. I don't know if that was just a rumor or if that was official, but
Gotcha.
in Toy Story 3, it's briefly mentioned that she actually got sold or given to somebody.
I thought I remembered something like that.
Which is why she's not in Toy Story 3, so...
It's going to be a love story this time.
Yeah, it's going to be Woody going to find his love back, which he mentioned once in the previous movie.
Oh, did he really? They just kind of like breezed over it like that?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Toy Story 3
I mean, they
since
explained why she wasn't
theaters, I
there,
think.
so that's cool, I guess.
Gotcha.
People would be wondering about that.
You think they
And the
just-
cast was I think so. The cast was a lot smaller in 3 as well. So
Yeah.
I feel like they explained just him growing up, him getting rid of his toys so that they can have a more closely tied together group of characters.
Agreed. I mean, I think you could probably say the same thing about the second one as well, just because it's mainly Woody with Jesse and what's his name, Stinky Pete or something like that.
Yeah.
Stinky Pete. I want to say Whiskey Pete, but yeah. The fact that it was kind of the three of them as a core brand of characters, while the other ones were trying to find and save Woody, I guess you could say. So I feel like the Pixar does a good job of making these stories very intimate and careful on making sure there's a core amount of characters that we care about the most, which is why I think Toy Story 3 as well was so heartfelt and heart-wrenching at the end of it as well.
That was terrible.
Yeah, they were able to make us like kind of just cry,
And
weep in theaters.
We were the core audience for that too. The people
sure.
who grew up with these characters, because we're the entire. Because I've talked to people who were a bit younger and who saw the movie, and they're just like, "Yeah, it was all right," and I'm just like, "You don't understand.
You weren't there.
You weren't there."
You weren't there
You
for the.
think Infinity War was sad.
Right.
This made me cry.
Exactly so.
Question, but did you guys ever play Toy Story 2 on the 64?
No, I didn't. I played Toy Story 1 on the Super Nintendo though.
Same as me. Yes, I played the first one, the same one as AJ.
We used the pull string on Woody as like a whip or whatever.
Yeah,
That game was a bitch.
It was a bitch.
it
was
bitch.
really hard.
I never beat it.
I never did either. I would get to like one or two of the same levels over and over again and never
There's
get
one level
the
I
whole
would
way
always
through.
get stuck on. It's when like it rips from the scene where Sid burns a hole in Woody's like forehead
Okay.
with a magnifying glass, and so in the level like your forehead's on fire and you're running forward with uncontrollably. Like you're
You're like,
yeah, exactly. And so
Dear God.
you as a player, you can't stop him, but you gotta like avoid a bunch of obstacles as he's
it's
running
coming
through
towards you?
That sounds
Oh.
somewhat
to get to
familiar.
like the bowl of milk that he dumps his forehead in.
Can
or
you
whatever.
imagine
Nice.
being 7, 8 years old and going through that shit?
That's why he remembers still to this day. It's no surprise, really, that you still remember that. But yeah, Toy Story 4, pretty exciting. Any words you wanted to say on that, Peter?
Toy Story.
Toy Story 4.
No, not really. Just I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think that all three of the movies are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Right, so there's no reason for this one not to be just as good, I
Disney
would say.
does has Pixar and Disney do have some misses. The Cars franchise really didn't do anything for me.
Good Dinosaur didn't
Well,
make much
The first
money
one was
either.
okay.
The
I
third
liked
one,
it.
have you seen the third
No.
one? It's actually really good.
It looked depressing from the trailer.
Yeah, it did.
It's super good. I'd recommend
Really?
watching because I agree. 2 was
I thought it was so
awful.
boring.
I only
Three
saw the
was
first.
Terrible, but 3 was great.
Okay.
Do I have to see 2 to?
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
you don't.
Because I don't
Okay.
want to see
It's
that.
self-contained to
I
a
saw
degree.
like the first 20 minutes and I'm like, this
And
movie
then I'll
sucks.
say this: something I enjoyed is they kind of steered away from Mater. He's only in it for like maybe
Steered away.
That's good.
I had to. I saw what you did there.
Fuck all of you.
10 minutes most. He's in it, like collectively.
Oh, you're not a fan of Mater, the character?
I feel like they relied heavy on him.
Especially
okay.
with Mater's Tales or whatever, those short stories they had him
Yes.
do.
Gotcha.
So watch it.
You can only handle so many dang guns or whatever. Gotcha.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, let's move on a little bit. We have potentially Dark Phoenix coming out in 2019. That's going to happen, right? We've gotten trailers.
No, it's happening.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's happening.
It's happening.
It's hard to tell with these
It's
X-Men
the movie
movies.
nobody wants, but we're getting it anyway.
It's so rushed,
It's all right.
I feel.
I'm okay with that because that's it. No more Fox.
No more crappy Fox
terrible
X-Men movies.
Yeah. Except First Class.
They
First Class
and
First
Logan,
Class is so good. And Logan.
and Logan.
they had 2 home runs, I would say, in my mind.
out of how many movies?
I know.
Exactly.
True that. I mean,
Deadpool I don't count in this, by the way. That's like its own thing. Same with Logan. It's kind of like its own
Just
solo
the full
project.
X-Men.
Yeah, but these ensemble X-Men movies are...
And it's crazy. 'cause
Agreed.
I do think First Class shows you how well an X-Men movie can be. Like,
Agreed.
it was so great. It's still one of my favorites, without a doubt. And now that Marvel, Disney's gonna have their hands on it, let's get it.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
get over this movie already.
I feel you. It shows that Fox was capable of getting some home runs with this franchise, and I don't even watch the first X-Men movie anymore. I just don't want to take the time to do it. But it will always hold like a special place in my heart because at the time when I was a little kid, it was an awesome movie to me.
Oh, it was great. Yeah,
You know.
when I was younger.
Yeah, but nowadays
Yeah,
it does
same
show
here.
its age to a degree. It's not the best, but I mean, still nice to see, as you guys said, that finally Disney and Marvel will have official hands on the franchise, and I trust them for sure.
I'm not even looking forward to this movie like at all, to be totally honest.
Yes, we'll watch it and review it for the show, but that's
Apocalypse
about
was
it.
so bad.
Never watched it. Watch the X-Men quick bit that we have. Quick bit number 7.
Michael Fassbender as Magneto is the best part of that movie, and
Sure.
he only shines in like his intro scene where spoiler alert, where his daughter dies.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just there's no way he could make this good. It's not his fault that it's bad. Like there's a part where he's just like floating around for no reason whatsoever outside of the pyramid, and then Quicksilver and what's her face show up and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm your son." It's like, what is fucking going on?
I don't know. They just like to try to make scenes where these characters look cool, but it just comes off as kind of dumb, I guess, overall. And it's such a waste from Apocalypse having such a great actor playing the character that it was ultimately wasted, I feel. I never saw the movie, but judging from everyone's reactions that I've heard of that movie, I've heard it's okay.
Oscar
I've heard
Isaac
it's okay.
is one of my favorite actors too. He's
Yeah.
really good, and he just cannot. The writing for Apocalypse was so there was nothing he could do. He was
had-
gonna, and then the character design
Yeah.
looked fucking
Ivan
horrible.
Ooze?
Ivan
Yes,
Ooze.
Ivan Ooze.
Ivan Ooze of the Marvel Universe. Yeah, it is too bad because Oscar Isaac has had a great past 5 years. I mean, I haven't followed his career super closely. People could probably point out other projects he's had prior to 2015, 2014.
Have you
but
seen Ex Machina?
Yeah, I did.
God,
That
that's so
movie's
good. That's one of my favorites.
That's a mindfuck for sure.
Oh yeah.
Great movie. I mean, he's Poe Dameron, for Christ's sake, in Star Wars, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. I mean, I look forward to seeing what he's going to be doing in Star Wars Episode 9 as well. But before we get to that, we do have Aladdin coming up, another Disney movie. Disney is just slaying theaters this year. It's awesome.
God.
It's crazy to see what they're going to be doing with this. I will say those from footage and screenshots, Aladdin, the look of it just looks a little basic to me. It doesn't look. I'm excited to hear the songs being fully remastered and all that, and I'm hoping for good things. But ultimately, I'm not the most hyped for this movie. That's just my opinion. How are you guys feeling about it?
I mean, with these live action remakes of Disney movies, for the most part, they're okay at best. I heard Cinderella's actually really good. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. Cinderella. No, I did not. Okay.
Which I even forgot was a thing. I completely forgot that they made a live action Cinderella movie. But other than that, I mean, I saw Maleficent, which I enjoyed.
I heard that was good too.
But I feel like the reason I enjoyed it is because I really have no attachment to the source, to the original movie whatsoever. Whereas these ones, much like the Toy Story franchise, I grew up with Aladdin and The Lion King.
Sure.
So I feel like I'm gonna be one of those people that criticizes this movie very hard. Beauty and the Beast is another good one, a good example.
It was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Oh no, I mean in the sense that I didn't like it too much because I love the original so much that I don't think there was any chance that this movie was gonna make me happy. I do like Emma Watson as Belle. I thought that was good, even though people hated it for some fucking reason.
Really? I didn't know
when
that.
she got cast as Belle, people lost their shit.
I thought she was great. I thought she was a funny.
That's the one thing that drew me in. I was just like, yeah, she's playing a smart young girl,
which I like, and she's
a character
independent.
that she's played before. Yes.
If anything, it was a great role model for girls of this age. I liked the character a lot, and Emma Watson's portrayal of the character.
I watched the original Beauty and the Beast not long ago, and there's a line that Gaston says earlier in the movie where he's just like, girls shouldn't be reading books because then they start like thinking and and I'm just like, holy fuck.
I mean, I'm sure they were like trying to make a statement.
Yeah,
but
I mean, clearly
time,
he's supposed
strong.
to be unlikable. Like you're supposed to disagree with him, but I'm just like, oh fuck, I can't believe they that's
heavy-handed hate right there
for a kids movie at that.
No, for sure, right? I would hope that no girls actually paid attention to something like that. But I mean, who knows? But yeah, that is kind of crazy. I'm hoping Aladdin is good. I really do. Not a big fan of how Will Smith looks as Genie. I don't like the way they designed him. But apparently, the way he's looked in what we've seen so far is more his
like incognito
disguise, if you will. Yeah, incognito.
Genie has like a human-esque disguise in the cartoon as well.
He's anthropomorphic. He has legs and feet.
No, I mean in the sense that he does. I think he does it during the musical, the Prince Ali musical sequence, where he actually appears as a human.
Yes, that is true. To blend in.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
That's right. He turns in all sorts of characters, like a goat and stuff like that as well. Old man.
I actually just remembered that right now. So maybe that's what we're seeing in the screenshots that we've seen.
That could be the case. Yeah, I mean, in order for him to blend into public, he has to look like that. That's why I look forward to seeing what he's going to look like in his Genie form. That's what I'm most excited for, and that's what's going to help me hopefully lean towards being more excited about this film overall. But definitely going to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's good. I hope to be pleasantly surprised by this film.
Oh yeah.
John, Lion King is coming out. I know you're pretty hype about it. You enjoyed the trailer?
Yeah, I enjoyed the trailer. I mean, from what I've seen, it wasn't much.
Sure,
but I'm open.
CGI Simba looks awesome.
The cast is great. I think the cast is going to be super good.
Beyonce.
What happened?
Beyonce. She plays Nala.
Yes.
Nice. So then those songs are going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
When
They're
they
going to
sing them, they're going to
rich.
Which, Lion King's so good. And then I love, Seth Rogen's going to be in it. He's going to be Pumbaa?
Pumbaa, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I think I'm more excited about Lion King than Aladdin, and I like Aladdin more.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I might have to say Lion King for myself. It's been a long time since I've seen either of those movies, but I think Lion King always had the more everlasting, I guess, piece of who I am. Yeah, for sure.
Here's the problem I have with the Lion King trailer.
Sir.
I don't think it's the right move to go the photorealistic route when it comes to these animals.
Okay.
Because I think that makes it harder for you to for them to emote, and it makes it harder for you to empathize with the character as a result.
Okay.
So I don't know how good. I don't know how. I hope I enjoy it. I hope they can somehow pull it off. But
yeah.
I know that's going to be a problem for me from the get go.
It has been a thought in the back of my mind as well. Like as far as the "Just Can't Wait to Be King" song and stuff like that. In the movie, it's really bright and colorful and exciting. All the animals are like climbing on top of each other and making a huge tower, you could say, for Simba and stuff like that. Anteaters are shooting their tongues out, and freaking antelopes are on top of them, and ostriches are on top of them, and then it's Nala and Simba on top of that as well. What's that?
I said, God, I want to watch The Lion King.
Right? No, it's a fantastic original film, but I don't know how well they're going to be able to pull off that scene in particular in full CGI photorealism. You know, I feel like they're going to probably attempt it, but will it look as good? Will it look okay Simba singing? with his mouth like that, I feel like, yeah, some emoting will be lost from this art style. And I mean, I will say the characters do look really good. The animals, the giraffes, the elephants within this trailer look awesome. I think they look really great. If anything, Simba might be the slight weak point between all the characters that we see. I feel like maybe he looked the most fake, but maybe because the focus was more on him so we could see more of the flaws within the technology.
All right.
And like we talked about earlier, I feel like this film will age within the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
As far as like the look of it goes. Any other further thoughts on Lion King though, guys?
Nah.
Looking forward to it. We're going to review it for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be
You
exciting.
may hear me angry at how dumb the characters look because they look too real. We'll see.
We'll see. Another member of the Disney train, Dumbo, live action as well.
I don't care.
I don't care whatsoever.
I think the trailer looks good. I want to see it. I think it's going to be really sad and dark with Tim Burton being behind it. And like we talked about earlier, personally, my feelings, I do agree. I mean, I'm not the most hype. I'd rather see Lion King than this. But I do look forward to seeing a Tim Burton movie that doesn't look quite as Tim Burton, judging from the trailers, that is, anyway.
I'm sure we've mentioned it in the past, but
Yeah.
Tim Burton does have a particular style. He's very visual with his storytelling. And so I'm going to look forward to this movie for that alone. But as far as the plot, I don't really I didn't really care much for the old one.
Nope.
I don't really care much about this one.
Nope.
If there's going to be some social commentary on like animal abuse and keeping them caged, like I think that's probably a good thing to do because that's at least that way there's a message in it that I could attach to because I don't think I'm going to be because in the original Dumbo talks so far in the trailers he does not talk at all. We have these human characters that talk to it and it kind of just reacts.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's not going to talk, I don't think I'm going to give a shit. I'm not going to connect to this fucking
Okay.
to this baby elephant with ears slightly bigger than a regular elephant's ears.
It makes it look
Like
so
elephant ears are
adorable, though.
already huge. They're just like, oh my god, you have huge ears. Yeah, it's a fucking elephant. Have you seen an elephant before? You work in a circus with animals. There's a parent one over there. It's the same fucking. I don't know.
Peter is triggered by Dumbo. I had no idea. Fair enough, though. But yeah, ultimately,
I just
think
can't
it's
get behind the
fun.
concept.
okay.
It doesn't make
I agree,
sense.
yeah.
I think it has a cool cast, though. I will say that. So I am excited for that. At least Colin Farrell, Michael Keaton. I think it's going to be really cool. But or at least the cast is really cool. The movie itself remains to be seen. Again, I wasn't a big Dumbo fan myself either as a kid, but we'll see how it goes. But one movie by Disney that I'm looking forward to, Star Wars Episode 9. No official title for it yet, to my knowledge, either. But looking forward to it. I thought Last Jedi, for as controversial as it was, ultimately was a great film. There was one section with the planet, what is it, Cantobite? The
Yeah.
casino kind of gambling planet. I think that was 90% unnecessary, at least for it to have lasted as long as it did. But ultimately, I enjoyed Last Jedi a heck of a lot.
So, I encourage John. Have you seen this yet?
So I wasn't.
Okay.
I know, man.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
You need to see it because I'm very curious to hear your opinion on it.
It's a great
But
film. Go ahead.
feel free to at me, everybody, because this was a very
boy.
divisive movie,
Yes.
and I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad to hear it.
For the sheer reason that it was so unpredictable.
Yes.
It was left and right turns everywhere.
Emotional
like
roller
I did
coaster.
not by halfway through the movie, because I'm the type of guy where I can analyze movies, I can predict movies. It's not really hard to do for the most part in a lot of movies, but halfway through this movie, I just gave up. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen or how this is gonna end. Like, this is going every which way, and it was great. I loved it for that. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Does it deserve all the hate that it got? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think it was a really, really, really good film. Unpredictable is a great word for it. Like, it's other people have talked about it before. Ultimately, I could see them not even having to do an episode 9 necessarily after the way episode 8 Last Jedi ended, really. I mean, it would be a little bit of a cliffhanger, and you'd probably wonder what ended up happening to certain characters, but with, I don't know, just everything that happened in that movie, it's almost tied neatly in a bow to a degree.
Sort of, yeah.
I mean,
there's a few characters whose arcs kind of get tied up.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Quite a few of the main characters, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Poe
It's almost
Dameron
over. I don't know what else they can really do with it. I mean, there are a few things that they need to finalize.
Well, I guess Poe Dameron does have an arc. I was going to say he doesn't have much of an arc, but I guess he does have one.
Yeah, a little bit.
But does he, though?
Wasn't a big fan of what happened with Finn, though, in this one. I mean, like, he was good in the movie, but what happened at the end. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah,
Right.
don't spoil-
It was
no
super
spoilers.
controversial, though.
It's on Netflix. Just
Is
watch
it
it,
on
John.
Netflix?
Yes.
I'll watch it.
And you've seen Force Awakens, you said.
Yeah. I
See,
wasn't a fan.
if your problem with Force Awakens was it was too samey, fuck, is this not that
It
at
is
all?
not that at
So
all.
let me ask you guys. I
Sure.
know,
No
I
spoilers.
believe this one is going to be directed by J.J. Abrams.
J.J.
Yes,
Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams, exactly.
So how do you guys feel about that?
God, I don't fucking know anymore.
You know, I was really excited when he was first announced for Force Awakens, but then I loved what happened. Again, super controversial, but I loved what was done with Last Jedi with the other director. And now
Ryan
to see
Johnson,
them,
I believe.
What was that?
Ryan Johnson,
Yes,
I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And then now to see J.J. Abrams come back, I'm almost slightly disappointed that they're going back to him. Not to say that I don't appreciate J.J. Abrams' work in almost everything I see him direct and be a part of and write. I love what he's done for the Star Trek movies. That might be a controversial statement as well. But still, this guy does great work. But I
Lens
kind of
flares.
liked
Lens flares
aplenty.
everywhere.
Yes.
It's like that meme
That's all we
with
need.
Woody and Buzz. Lens flares everywhere.
Right. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think I would have liked Ryan Johnson returning, but since that's not going to happen, obviously, I'm looking forward to seeing what J.J. Abrams can pull off with it.
I wonder if that's gonna be to the detriment of the movie, though. To have
Only
like,
because
is-
Force Awakens was good, but it was samey. It was.
I mean,
it was a new hope.
I mean, in the sense, this jumping back and forth between directors,
Sure.
having J. Abrams make the first movie in this new trilogy, and then have Ryan Johnson, somebody completely different take the helm, and then J. Abrams having to come in and finish it off at the end. It's.
I mean,
I don't know how
worked
it's
with
gonna.
Marvel.
In a way, it could come full circle.
Marvel's
and
a little
it's-
different though,
Yeah.
because they a lot of them are like side/solo projects. They don't necessarily follow the same narrative. They're in the same universe, obviously,
Most
but they're
definitely.
a lot of them are all their own self-contained stories. So I don't.
For Marvel, you're saying?
Yes,
Okay. I mean, well, there
You
is
can
the
say that
greater
just the
MCU.
Avengers alone. I mean, you have Josh Whedon who did the first two Avengers, and then you have the Russo brothers who did the last two Avengers. They both did a great job, but J.J. Abrams,
Age of Ultron wasn't that good.
I enjoyed
I
it.
can't disagree with you on that.
I mean, I watched it like a year ago just to rewatch it and have some fun, and I liked it more the second time around. Maybe because I accepted more of the flaws.
Maybe I'll force
And
myself to watch it a second time. I've seen it once, and
Force,
it's not
wow.
even like it was necessarily bad, but it
Wasn't a
was
terrible
just
movie or
dull.
anything. Oh, dull, you think?
Yes,
Okay.
very underwhelming.
Sure.
The stakes didn't feel like they were raised. It was just more of the same.
I feel that. Okay, I could agree with that. Unlike what Infinity War did, which raised the stakes umpteenth to the
Oh,
umpteenth
yeah.
degree, you know?
Without
So,
a doubt.
for sure, I agree with that. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to episode 9. I don't know what they're going to do with it after the way episode 8, Last Jedi, ended. I'm looking forward to it. John, do yourself a favor and watch it for
will,
at least
I
for the
will.
sake of it being a controversial film. Because then you can form your own opinion as to whether or not it is worth receiving that much hate. I just think with hate culture being the way it is nowadays,
God,
and
yeah.
everyone having a Twitter account, and people that are too afraid to have their own profile picture and keep the egg as their Twitter profile picture, like people can just say anything and throw hate into the wind.
bitches.
Exactly.
There's so many. There was death threats. There's fucking
Exactly,
If
like-
you're threatening people over a movie you didn't like, go fuck yourself.
Right, like maybe rethink your life a little bit.
if this is the one thing that's so important to you, like reevaluate the things in your life.
Yeah, seriously. Like I can understand. I don't know.
Happy Chava.
Oh, I welcome it.
Oh,
I
at STGeek Pod, let people know.
for this particular
you hate
thing,
us, yeah.
yes, at me all the fuck you want.
Right, and if this podcast is something that upsets you so deeply that you want to throw death threats at us, if that's what makes you feel better, go for it. I mean, if you're gonna be that much of a pussy about things,
your applesauce.
sure, go for it. At STGeek Pod, send it all. I don't care. I mean, and I don't even mean pussy in a derogatory manner towards females. I just mean you are just a weak person in general. If you feel like you need to waste your time sending hate and death threats, then maybe like Peter said, probably reevaluate your life a
I
little
don't
bit.
even have time to have conversations that I want to have.
For
Like,
real.
how do these people have the time to send all this hate and just send it out into the world?
It sounds like a lot of weight on someone's shoulders. I would not want.
Jesus.
Fuck that. Moving on. It Chapter 2. I saw It 1 a few months ago. I enjoyed it. There were some things I thought were dumb, but ultimately, overall, great film.
I loved it.
I liked it a lot.
seen it.
There were just some special effects that I thought were kind of cheesy. Like when he, I don't know, bites at somebody one time near the beginning of the film. I just thought that looked really cheap. Like that could have been shot a lot better. That's just my
suppose.
opinion, though. And maybe the ending was slightly cheap, and it ended similarly
ending
to the
was-
first half.
Made me laugh.
Yeah.
I can't say what it John, cover your ears.
No. It was a laughable ending.
God, I want to talk about it though. It's so.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
They all
Spoilers
jump
for
him with
everyone.
sticks.
Yeah. They beat the shit out of him.
Wow.
They beat the shit out of him with sticks and random objects that they find on the
That's
ground.
pretty funny.
That's all it takes?
It's
It's a bunch
so
of little
great.
kids. Yeah.
It's so funny.
They're not afraid of him anymore, and so they beat
So
his
he
ass
has
with
Do you think
sticks.
any like clowns at a birthday party got jumped after that?
I'm
movie?
sure.
Right.
Wasn't
You don't
that-
scare me anymore. Bam.
I feel like I remember a news story about that. About like people not something about
Well, there were
clowns,
clowns
like
getting
career
killed for a
clowns.
while.
Well, yeah, because stupid people would walk around in clown costumes during.
This kind of went along with. Did
Yeah.
this happen at the same time?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, probably around the same time. I want to say
About
it
the
came out a
clown
little while
debacle?
after that, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken.
Sure, it didn't help.
No, yeah, it probably didn't help at all towards clown violence. Hashtag save the clowns.
Yep.
But yeah, looking forward to It Chapter 2. I mean, yeah, the original It film didn't really do anything for me as a kid, but I look forward to seeing how this one turns out. Because for one, the cinematography and the kid actors are really good. Though now I believe in the second one, there are going to be adult actors portraying the kids now.
Yes.
So who's to say if these adults can really pull off what the kids did, and will they be able to find as strong of a cast? Because again, for kids, they did a great job. I
without
can't
a
say I
doubt.
was disappointed by what they did at all. I thought the acting was pretty much top notch for the most part. But yeah, moving on, we do have Shazam from DC, a DC movie I think the three of us are looking forward to.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, looks
excited
super
about
funny.
it, yep.
More of an original take and lighthearted take on superhero movies, even more so than you could say even more than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just more fun and more silly, goofy slapstick comedy. A lot of physical comedy. He's jumping off half pipes and hurting his back and stuff like that. When he learns that he can deflect bullets and such. Ultimately, I think it's gonna be a cool movie. Who's the actor in that? The guy that plays Chuck?
Chuck, I don't know his name.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I wanted to say Zachary Quinto,
Yeah.
but that's something completely different.
Yeah,
that's
not-
Spock.
That's the other dude with the long face. Yeah.
Yeah, the other dude with the long face. And then a trailer that has gotten me super hype recently: Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I can't wait to see him face off against King Ghidorah, Rodan. We're gonna have Mothra in this movie. Phils?
I just hope they don't. They're not putting too much on their plate too soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want this to be a Batman v Superman situation where they try to throw all these characters into one movie and then it just ends up being shit.
Sure. I could see that. I mean, I don't
At
think
PG Chava.
Great description of Batman vs. Superman.
I know, right?
Ed Johnson.
I'll say this about it. One thing I'm looking forward to about this movie, I was speaking about it with a friend recently, is that I like to think that they're learning their lesson from the first one, because they had one human character we cared about a lot, that died within the first 20 minutes of the film.
He
and
was
it
so heavily promoted in the trailer.
Oh, we're talking about Bryan Cranston, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard
Spoilers.
everybody's like, yeah, he's not even in the movie. He's barely in it.
Yeah, it's a very big disappointment in that. I mean, and we get 7 minutes cumulatively of Godzilla on screen fighting monsters. 7 minutes out of a 2-hour long movie. So
Okay.
seeing
More
all
about the
these,
people than the actual monsters.
yeah,
I mean, that's the way to do it. How much? I mean, you can't connect with the fucking giant hulking monster that's
maybe to a
destroying a
degree.
city.
I think we'll care about him more in this movie just because he's clearly outnumbered by what's going on in the movie. I mean, who's to say Mothra may or may not help him? We'll see, or
I
her.
think Rodan was a good character in some story arcs back in
Oh,
the
was
day.
he?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good to know. I had no idea. But yeah, I think that now at least they're realizing, okay, we had barely any monster fights in this first one. Let's put the monsters in, and now they have 4 of them, including Godzilla at least, if they don't choose to put even more in the film. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, Millie Bobby Brown it looks like the main protagonist in this film.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
Forgot
we're
about
going
that.
to care about her a lot. I don't think they're going to kill her off in the first 20 minutes of the movie. It looks like they're going to have her
We'll
as a
see.
survivor throughout this whole thing. It looks like she's probably cooped up alone, and she's trying to reach, I guess, refuge via radio tower. That's my vibe from it. I'm not sure exactly.
Right.
But ultimately, though, I think this movie is going to be a great Clash of the Titans, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really fun. Though, one movie, I don't know if you said you saw it, Peter. John, you definitely said you didn't see it. Spider-Man Homecoming.
No, I
So,
did not see it.
did you watch that, Peter?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was
heard
fun.
that,
It's very worth being a part of the MCU, I would say.
Yes, without a doubt.
Well, we do have Spider-Man Far From Home, the sequel of that movie coming out this year as well. I'm hoping there's great things. I don't have a lot to say about it. Any feelings?
There's
from
not
you
much
guys?
to say about it.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
don't
we
really
don't
have
really
much to
know
work.
anything other than Mysterio's going to be played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
And that's my
friends. They might be partners in this one instead of
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know.
frenemies.
Is that rumored right now?
I think that is a rumor that they're supposed.
Well, this is
to
the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, I
they're
didn't
supposed
even
to be
realize.
partners. I
Oh.
believe that was the.
Maybe that's how it starts.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, frenemies.
Yeah.
I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal has the acting prowess to be very conniving and very, for lack of a better word, sneaky in this movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal's had a pretty interesting career because he's actually a pretty good actor.
He's a really
but he
good
gets
actor,
the
I think.
shittiest roles.
Really? You think so?
Name a good role that he's had.
I mean, he played a really good detective in Prisoners with starring Hugh Jackman.
Never
and
saw
himself.
it. Never heard of it.
No, really?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
The one movie I think
And,
of.
Terrence Howard is in that movie as well.
Isn't he
Jarhead.
Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko.
What about Brothers? Brothers
Was he in
with
Brothers?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He
that's
was the
right. He was-
co-star-
yeah,
he was
yeah.
like the lead actor with Natalie Portman.
He's really good in that one.
Yeah,
That's
Tobey
what I'm saying.
Maguire
He's
as
like,
well.
I'm not saying he hasn't had his hits, but he's been in a lot of crappy movies.
Okay, I'll respect that. Jarhead, another one.
Jarhead is one I don't. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
It was
Some
very
people didn't.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Very dramatic. Didn't that win an award? It was at least nominated, I want to say. Let us know.
Probably.
At STGeekPod.
Yeah. We're not going
And-
to do the research. Please let us know.
Yeah, please. But yeah, no, I mean, those are just my examples of him doing, of having great movies under his belt. That's just me. But then here's another one. Love and Other Drugs. I loved him in that movie.
Never seen it.
Great movie. Great acting all around from everyone in that movie.
Side note: I could do a whole podcast on Donnie Darko, by the way, because I absolutely fucking love that movie.
Oh, really? I watched it once in high
It's-
school. I thought it was okay. Maybe I wasn't paying close
That's
enough
what I mean.
attention.
It takes a particular person to like this movie. It's not for everybody, without a doubt. But I am among the fans.
Okay, fair enough. Let's see. Let's move this along a little bit because we do have to get going pretty soon, or at least I have to go. I unfortunately have my day job to get to later on. We have Hellboy, which we've talked about recently. Yeah, that looks really fun. Lego Movie 2, the second part, I think it's called.
Yeah,
that one looks really fun. Chris Pratt. Have you seen the first one, you guys?
Nope.
I have, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
it.
good.
I've heard it's good. I'll see it
Will Ferrell's
in
in it.
anticipation of this one.
Yeah, ultimately really fun.
Who's Will Ferrell play?
He's the main bad guy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And
Spoiler.
maybe one other
No, I'm
thing.
just kidding. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
We also have How to Train Your Dragon. I think you guys said you both haven't seen that series,
Never
right?
seen a
I've
single
seen
one.
The first one.
Oh, you saw the
I
first one.
want to say I've seen the second one, too.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to this one. It'll be a fun little date night, fun, cute movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the latest Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I have not heard anything about this.
Oh, yeah, man. It's like based in like old town Hollywood back
Once
in the
Upon
day.
a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
So they're doing that thing.
Be on the
There's
lookout.
Like Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Once Upon a Time in China, Once Upon a Time in the West. They're doing.
Exactly. But this time it's
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino, and anything that man makes, I'm going to see.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. We'll see how it turns out. I mean,
His
I'm
movies
excited.
Are among the most iconic.
Right?
Like oh god, he's one of my favorite directors, hands down.
Dishonorable / maybe honorable mention. Well, we'll see if the New Mutants ends up ever coming out in 2019, if ever at all. We'll see.
There's a date.
I completely forgot that this happened.
We'll see.
So they released a new trailer, and in the trailer they had a release date.
Yes.
The day after they released it, they pushed it back.
Like 6 months or
Some shit like that.
What's the point in that? I guess like to make people aware, but now it's becoming a joke. Like
I don't think that one's gonna come out.
I'm not
I
sure
think
either.
Disney's gonna pull it before.
it's been screen tested and it didn't do well. People didn't care for it. Audiences didn't care for it. So I mean,
They're gonna
they might
delay
try to make it better.
And they're gonna cancel it. They're gonna delay it one more
Wait till people
time.
forget.
They're gonna have to release. They gotta make some money back, right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's fair. You're not wrong.
I mean, what
in
are they
that.
trying to do? Protect their Fox mutant brand?
Right,
Like,
the
what
ones
the
they're
fuck do
losing anyway?
they care?
I-
They clearly haven't given a shit this far.
I agree. Well, a couple others that we have coming up that I'm looking forward to. John Wick.
3. Yeah,
John Wick, yes. John Wick 3.
John Wick. Did I say week?
Yeah.
My bad. I'd like to pronounce it week. My bad. But yeah, no, John Wick 1 and 2, pretty awesome movies.
I haven't seen the second.
They're brutal.
Good.
It's
I
just
love the
as
first
brutal.
one, but I never got around to the second.
It's a nice expansion of the universe. Like you
Okay.
get to
A
know
little bit more
it's
story in this one, right?
a little more story, yeah.
I love how in the first one they don't. I'll try not to talk about this for too long, but
Sure.
I love how in the first one they just leave you little breadcrumbs about the universe.
Yeah.
They don't over-explain things. You just pick up on how this world works, specifically with the hotel that he goes to.
Yes.
And God, it's really good.
And you start realizing that this is not based in reality at at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a potential reality, but not our world, not our universe for sure. But yeah, it's really fun little lore, and you get again, it's just more breadcrumbs in this one as well. It's not like ham-fisted to you. It's not heavy-handed or anything like that. You still get little tastes of like, oh, this is how this works. This is the cordial, how this works as well. It's just little more nods and slightly more revealings as to how everything works as far as the, the manners of the club that he's
I love
a part
Willem
of.
Dafoe's role in the first one too.
I forgot he was in that movie. I
Yep.
haven't seen the first one in a couple
How you
years.
kind of think he's a bad guy, but he's kind of like his secret buddy, his secret like backup.
Right?
Yeah,
Like his guardian angel, you
that
could
was
say.
pretty cool.
Totally. And then another big one, DC. Oh, please make this movie good.
This is my most anticipated movie.
Glad to hear it. Joaquin Phoenix starring as the Joker.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how this goes. There isn't much to work with. We don't have an official teaser trailer yet, really.
There's rumors that people who were watching him do it say it's great, but you know how that goes.
They're not gonna-
it's
yeah.
marketing. They have to
Exactly.
promote what they're working on, but I don't doubt their
Joaquin
enthusiasm.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it's Joaquin Phoenix. He's one of the more prolific actors of our day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would
I'm
say
just curious
the
to
range
know
of this
route
man.
they're gonna take.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I want to
It's
see.
not gonna be a Batman-centric movie, like.
Supposedly,
I'm really
we talked
hoping
about
it
the
stays
rumors
that
that
way.
Batman might be in it to some capacity, but who knows?
I'm kind of hoping that they don't put him in this movie. I just want to see the Joker wreak havoc and find some other way to be interesting rather than having to fight the Bat the whole time. But that's just me.
I don't think you need Batman to be interesting with a character like the Joker. To be totally honest,
True.
If you do him right, I think
Yeah,
he's.
Jared Leto.
Of course, right? Yeah, totally. Well, no, I'm looking forward to that. I just wonder who will be able to rival his like cunning prowess, you could say. Just because that's what makes Batman such a great hero or I guess a great rival to Joker, because they're almost equals in a way. Just Joker is a more evil Batman.
They're the polar opposites.
Yeah.
One represents order and one represents chaos.
Exactly so. And that's what I'm saying is that will there be a good counterbalance to the Joker in this film? Is it necessary to have a counterbalance? Just because to watch him kind of just breeze through everything he does in this movie, there won't be any challenge in that. So I'm wondering what will be the challenge
That's what I'm interested
against Joker
in too.
if not Batman.
Like, what's the struggle gonna be? Like, what's the not necessarily the antagonist, but what's the conflict?
For sure. No, I agree. Are you guys okay to move on though?
Yeah.
Okay, again, I do got to get going. One movie I'm super excited about. We all kind of had nice things to say about it. Detective Pikachu coming in 2019, March,
hype.
if I'm not mistaken.
Is it really that soon?
No, maybe it's later, June, July. I forget.
I don't really
They
pay attention to dates
May?
of movies. I just see them when they come out.
Let us know, STGeekPod. We'll look it up eventually, though, anyway. I have to see this movie. It looks super fun. It's a great reimagining of seeing what these Pokemon would look like in real life. I think it's really fun.
Oh yeah.
Is it CGI perfect? No. And do some character designs look a little questionable? Maybe so. Mr. Mime's a little creepy.
This goes back to the Lion King thing I was talking
Yes.
about. Like, they don't need to, they're photorealistic but also cartoony.
Yes.
They're not fully photorealistic.
Right. Like,
Which is fine. They can emote. They have emotions. You can see that on their faces.
Yeah.
Well, most of them. Maybe
Pikachu
not
looks
Charizard.
great. Pikachu looks great.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Pikachu
forward to
looks
it.
amazing.
It's super
Ryan
awesome.
Reynolds, I'm very excited.
He's
yeah.
the man for the job. I can't imagine really anyone else. Again, I told you guys recently that Danny DeVito, like people were wanting him to do it really, really badly, but he had no interest in the role. So, I mean, even though that would have been kind of funny to see,
I would have loved to have seen Danny DeVito as man, to be honest with you. That would have been great.
I think he would have been able to capture a similar humor. I mean, his own brand of humor, but I think Ryan Reynolds is doing a great job based on what we've seen in the trailer anyway. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it. It's going to be super silly, super fun, maybe a little heartfelt as well, make us cry. Other than that, Man in Black, International,
Sure.
Frozen 2, meh.
Frozen. Why am I surprised?
Ultimately
I
unnecessary,
should be
think.
surprised that they didn't make one sooner. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
God, I hated that first movie so much.
I agree. Yeah, it was just okay to
I
me.
hated the
It
fucking
was all right.
music. I hated the plot. The one redeeming quality was at the end. Like, it was the sisters that ended up like helping each other out. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no,
Other than that, the movie was shit.
true. I totally agree. So, other than that, we have Zombieland 2 that may be coming out in
I forgot this was a
2019.
thing.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, but it's one of those things of, is it too late?
Is it even necessary anymore? Yeah, is it too late? I wonder.
The first one still holds up. I've seen it recently, and it's
Okay.
great, and I love it.
But
Oh, yeah,
so
of course.
So does Anchorman 1 and Zoolander 1, but God, 2, both of those sequels are
Right.
awful.
And they all came out way later.
Years later.
How old is Zombieland 1 at this point? Like,
I want to say
fucking-
about 6-7 years old.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
It came out in like 2010
something like that.
We're like 2019.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there you go. So I mean, but we'll see. I mean, lovable characters. I like
So fucking
what they all
old.
did. Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone. Am I wrong about that?
She was in it.
Emma
She is in
Stone,
it.
also Woody Harrelson. Great cast. Obviously,
yeah.
we got a taste of Bill Murray for a moment there. Like
Yeah, that
5
was fun.
seconds.
That was great, yeah.
And then we have, but yeah, ultimately, I hope it's good. Maybe it'll just be more of the same. That's all I could see them really doing, more of the same in this movie. We also have Sonic the Hedgehog, controversial because they're not showing us what the character looks like yet. We've talked about it in our review of Into the Spider-Verse episode. We went into some depth as to our feelings on Sonic the Hedgehog's character design, and all we're really getting is a silhouette. But we'll see how it looks ultimately. I'm looking forward to it.
Skinny legs.
Yeah, very lanky kind of runner legs, which are okay, but on an anthropomorphic hedgehog, I don't think so.
It's a video game movie. It's not going to be the greatest.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Wreck-It Ralph and stuff like that. I mean, Detective Pikachu, I think, is probably going to go down as
The greatest video game
movie of all time, at least for now.
for right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
in current events. At least that's
I mean, it doesn't have much competition.
Yeah, to be fair. I mean,
But
there are
to
a
its
lot
credit,
of-
it also looks good. It's
Yeah.
not just that the rest of them are shit.
there are a lot of video game movies out there, but so you could say there is competition, but in the quality of each of those, probably lacking in almost every single one, if not every.
Without a doubt.
Sure. All right. So, any parting words for this episode, guys? Unfortunately, we do have to get going.
We do. There's the rest of these movies I've never fucking heard of.
Yeah.
What's Gemini Man? Will Smith?
Will Smith's
I'll have to
having a
look
new
into
thing.
that.
I think I saw a teaser for
The
it
Kid Who
recently.
Would Be King looks
Lame,
boring.
bad
It looks-
mountain man.
it looks
I don't know what
okay.
that is.
Sure. Anything else?
Y'all want to see Escape Room?
No.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
out in
bad.
theaters right now if you want to catch it.
Yeah, fuck
as of the
that.
airing of this episode. But
It's like-
yeah, it looks okay. It
It
looks,
looks
okay.
like Saw, except not Saw.
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much. But with the other dimensions.
If you want us to see us, If you want us to see it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know
At
what you thought about it.
STGeekPod. Please don't, because I don't want to
Watch
get
this
it.
movie, yes. I
But
do not want to watch
But if
it.
you liked it, let us
we'll
know.
do it for the
Do it
fans.
for you.
The enthusiasm is pouring out of you guys.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that'll about do us for another episode of
Spontaneous Travel Geek Podcast.
Spontaneous Travel. All right,
Yeah,
cool. Always surprise your girlfriends and significant others with spontaneous travel. Is that a good motto we can go with?
I don't know what you just said.
But yes.
I didn't know
Yes,
either.
I'm
yeah,
gonna agree.
I agree.
that was the thing. Yeah, thank you guys for listening to another episode of STGeek Pod. Be on the lookout because, as Peter mentioned earlier, we are going to be reviewing Split and Unbreakable.
Yes.
Looking forward to the following week, which we'll be covering Glass, also reviewing that. So be on the lookout for similar things along that regard. We also have one other thing we might be talking about next
We
week.
may
as well.
talk about replicas.
Oh yes, the latest Keanu Reeves movie.
Yes.
Replicas may be a thing.
Maybe.
We'll see. It looks okay. It looks fun. The trailer looked exciting. But I think it'll be a standard movie. Overall, thanks so much for watching, guys. For listening, that is. Watch it on YouTube, though, if you want. Again, Twitter and Instagram at STGeekPod. Thanks so much. Later.
Peace. Did it wake you up? It woke me up a couple times. I'm like, oh.
I recently found out that Johnny Cash wrote that song Ring of Fire about my asshole from the past.
Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Check your booty.